What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the show. You're watching the official Baddies USA after show only on Damien After Dark. Let's get into it. Everybody, I hope you all had a magnificent Thanksgiving holiday with you and your family. I hope y'all ate some great food, enjoyed your time off. If you had time off from work, all that good stuff. I'm glad to be back here with you all where we are going to be recapping season 8, episode 2 of Baddies USA. All right, now let's just do like we do. We're going to dive right into it. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed. Like this video, leave a comment in the comment section. And let me know what you thought about the episode, and if you can, hype this video up. Okay, down there next to the thumbs up button, you should see a button that says hype. So if you can hype this video up, go ahead, do your boy a solid and hype me up. Okay, hype me up, baby. Now we're gonna start off at the beginning. And the episode begins with Big Bad Bully Biggie, okay? That's what I'm calling her. The Big Bad Bully Biggie running up on Smiley, all right? Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to pay attention. Take notes now. Take notes. I don't want nobody to say, oh, Damien, you know, why you always say this about Biggie? Why you pick with Biggie? Because I've been consistent with Biggie, and I give examples. I give facts as to why I don't with Biggie, okay? And this is a prime example, because my thing with Biggie, any other time Biggie, any other time, any other person, Biggie wants to cop please, right? Biggie loves to cop please with everybody, hide behind other people, hide behind security. Oh, wait, no, man, no, hold on, dude, wait, bro. She always wants to do that shit. But when it's somebody like Smiley, you got all this smoke for. You're a fake gangster. You're a fake gangster, Biggie. Nobody's buying what you're selling. She always does this thing where she tries to act rough and tough whenever it's particular people. She'll fight certain people, those that can't fight, just like her, right? But when it comes to fighting a real fighter, she won't do it. She wants to backpedal, please pop. Hell, not even the real fighters. Like, who was it that she was backing up from last year? There was somebody last season that she was backing off of, and I'm like, that person can't. Like, how you scared of anyway? Biggie is yelling at Smiley, talking about, don't you talk about my man. Don't talk about my man again. Don't talk about my man. You want to be on camera so bad. You want to be on camera so bad. I'm like, isn't that the reason all of y'all are there? Don't you all want to be on camera? I mean, you wouldn't be on a reality TV show if you didn't want to be on camera, right? That would be like me saying, I don't want to be on camera, yet I've got a YouTube channel. Like, what? Come on now. Now, you know, she keeps saying, you talked about my man. Apparently, Smiley was on social media talking about Biggie and talking about Biggie's late husband. I think it was, yeah, her late husband. And, you know, so Biggie takes this opportunity to try to show y'all, to try to prove to y'all that she's a baddie. She wants y'all to be like, hear me roar, I'm Biggie. And it's like, girl, ain't nobody buying it. Please, Biggie. I don't buy it, and I want to try to like Biggie. I want to try to like her. Sometimes I go into seasons trying to give Biggie a clean slate, but it's just like, sister, it does not resonate. Now, watching Biggie and Smiley fight one another, baby, that was comical. Neither one of those girls landed a lick. Did y'all notice that? Biggie and Smiley fighting one another. Neither of them landed a lick. It was funny and sad to watch at the same time. Now, Sapphire, on the other hand, did y'all notice in Sapphire's confessional, she says that Biggie and she says they were eating each other up. Sapphire says, I walk in and they're eating each other up and brawling. I'm just like, are we watching the same show? Like, Sapphire, you were actually there. What do you mean they were eating each other up and brawling? I didn't see not a eat, not a up, not a brawl. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me mute this. I just didn't see that. And just listening to Biggie in that baritone voice, just having to hear that continuously gives me a headache. I'm just like, I can't. Now, meanwhile we got Cold Killer versus Stinkabella. We got Lil Gretch versus Anna Whack. And then you got Smiley versus Biggie. All three of these fights are going on. Everybody's fighting. And to be honest with y'all, I don't like any of these chicks. So I don't care who wins, who loses. I really don't care. So while all this fighting is going on, um, Cold Killer let her guard down for a minute. And Tinkerbella runs up on her and starts giving her the work. Okay, she starts giving her work. I gotta give Stinkabella that because she was thrashing Cold Killer there for a minute. She was thrashing her, and the thing is, Stinkabella is stout. So you really, if you gonna fight Stinkabella, you better be ready to go up against her because she's a stout girl. You know what I mean? She's a stallion. Now, what do I always tell y'all about energy transfers and how energy, when you're in a room, energy transfers from one individual to another. If there's a lot of happy people in a room, the happiness transfers. If there's a lot of sadness in the room, the sadness can transfer. One person's crying, all of a sudden another person might be like, "Oh my God, you're making me cry." Energy transfers. And that's no different when people are angry and fighting. If you see a group of people or two people fighting or mad at each other, that energy can transfer over and more people can start feeling that and get upset and get mad. And we saw that happen in this episode. You know, we got all these people fighting in this room. It's bound to make somebody else want to get up and start scrapping, right? That person is Big Lex. Big Lex starts feeling herself and she wants to get into the mix. And she runs up on Fauna and Tavy because she says that Fauna and Tavy jumped her at the reunion last season. So she wants to get her lick back. But my thing is, Lex tried to run up on Tavy, but it flopped. Did y'all catch that? It flopped big time because Tavy was ready for Lex. Tavy wasn't off guard. She wasn't looking down. She was ready for when Lex ran up on her. She got right back in there with her. It didn't land like Lex thought it was gonna land. Um, Now when Lex and Fauna fought, okay, when Big Lex and Fauna fought, I have to give that to Big Lex. I saw Fauna getting whopped in the face. Bop, bop. I mean, she was getting whopped in the face. No, who would y'all give that to? Big Lex versus Fauna. I'm gonna be real with y'all. From what I've seen from Fauna, there's a ladybug in here. What is it about this time of the year and ladybugs? They get all in your house like a ladybug just flew across the screen. But from what I've seen from Fauna, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I did stop watching Baddies Africa mid-season last season, so that was Fauna's first season. So maybe I missed out on Fauna, but I didn't see anything impressive about her last season. Fauna sort of gives me Chihuahua. Like she sort of reminds me of my Chihuahua in there, just like all bark, but he'll never bite you. Just like girl, okay, all right. I'm confused why she's back anyway. Why is Fauna back? There was nothing entertaining about her. Is it by affiliation? Is she back by affiliation? Why don't we bring some of the girls back that y'all let go earlier in Bad? Y'all remember like on Baddies Caribbean? What was that girl's name? There were a few of the newbies that we've never seen again. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Another thing I wanted to mention. Let's talk about the production value of this episode. Zeus. I know y'all watch. Zeus loves to watch the fan pages, they love to read the blogs, and they watch videos like this over here. Take what I am telling you and apply it. Up the production value. First of all, there should be no reason one episode takes place in one room the entire time. I mean, we were in that restaurant the entire episode. Number one. Number two, why are there 500 people in this room? I'm genuinely confused. We don't need 500 Zeus employees in the room. All you need, 5 or 6 cameramen. The room's only so big, right? 5 or 6 cameramen to line that room. Your audio guy, maybe 2 audio guys since there's a big cast. Your producing team, which should be no more than 4 people. Maybe a production assistant, a PA, and that's really it. Y'all don't need all these people. It's distracting. The girls are fighting. It's hard to tell who's standing back there in the background, who's fighting who. It's just way too many people. Zeus, get it together. Y'all are in season 8. There should be no reason this shit is still sloppy. I miss the days of reality TV when production was behind the camera, when we did not see production. I miss those days of reality TV. It seems like nowadays they want to just show every motherfucking thing, and everybody wants to be on the TV screen. Now, Tanisha pulls up, Scotty pulls up, Tommy pulls up. I just know that Tanisha and the OG bad girls be sitting there like, I don't want to do this shit. You can tell who's like in their 40s there, who's in their late 30s. You can tell who's, you could just tell, because a lot of them are just like, I'm only here for a paycheck. I don't care what they're arguing about. Like these children are thirsty for camera time. I get it. We was all 21 acting a fool at some point, right? But yeah, so you got Tanisha and Scotty and Tommy. They all walk in. Now, who would have thought in a million years? Who would have thought in a million years that Krishan would be the quiet one? Krishan was the one that was being the most quiet, the most reasonable. Like, I'm like, look at God. Look what God does. Because y'all know Krishan went on her spiritual religious journey or whatever. I'm like, it looked like a lot of these girls need some Jesus, because Krishan has just done a complete 180. It seems. Now, she could have me fooled. It's only a small fraction that we've been seeing of Krishan, but she seems so different. Her energy, her aura, everything about Krishan, her behavior, the way she talks in confessionals. Krishan was like, everybody was arguing, and she was like, can we please eat? And I'm like, sis, oh, Krishan, do you not remember? Do you not remember that y'all don't eat over here on the Zeus Network? At least not on camera. At least not on camera. Now, we switch to Summer, okay? We switch to Summer, who Summer is over here running her mouth. That's Summer's biggest problem. She just does not know when to shut up. And Summer's over here running her mouth to Tasiki, right? Krishan is over here running her mouth to Tasiki, calling her weird and saying, I'm the reason that you're here. I'm the real reason that you're here. And listen, y'all might not agree with me on this, but I think Summer does play a part in why Tasiki is there. Because let's not forget, Tasiki was gone last year. They fired her last year. They only brought her back because they were able to get Krishan back on the show. Let's just be clear about that. Y'all may not like what I'm going to say, but it's the truth. I'm just going to be real with you. the narrative was that Tasiki was boring and they got rid of her last season. She was taking up the budget. They're paying her all this money for her to just sit around and do nothing. And here's the thing, it's not about fighting. She doesn't have to fight to be entertaining. It's her personality. She's just not that interesting. And that's okay. Everybody doesn't have a big personality, and everybody is not meant for television. It's okay, right? But Tasiki's not there on her own merit. Let's just call a spade a spade. If Krishan wasn't there, Tasiki wouldn't be there. And then the fact that Summer and Tasiki had online beef before this season started, that gave Zeus even more of a reason to bring Tasiki into the fold, because now we get content like this. Tasiki and Summer have a reason to fight. They were beefing before the season. So if I was you, Tasiki, I would be sending Summer and your sister a thank you card. Okay? Because this is what? Tasiki's third, fourth, fifth season. The longer they bring them back, the more money they make. So Tasiki is not a cheap hire. Right? She's not a cheap hire. But I do think it's stupid for Summer to be running her mouth to Tasiki, because my thing is like, girl, you know you cannot touch this girl. You know that there's not a chance in hell that you can whoop Tasiki. And I'm just confused with Summer. My thing is, do you like pain? Do you like being beat up and beat to a pulp, Summer? I'm starting to think she likes to get her ass beat, because even when she does get her ass beat, she continues to run her mouth. That's like her only weapon is her mouth, and baby, she uses it. She uses it. Okay, I'm just confused. But hey, at least I'll give Summer this. At least she's forcing Tasiki to clock in and work. Because if Summer wasn't there and Krishan wasn't there, Tasiki would sit back with her legs folded, with a blunt in her mouth, doing nothing. Right? Now, we see Tasiki approaching Summer, telling her to watch her fucking mouth. Shut up and watch your fucking mouth. And what does Summer keep doing? Talk to your sister. You need to be talking to your sister. You need to. And she won't stop. And my thing is, if that was somebody that I knew could beat my fucking ass, yeah, I'm gonna watch my mouth. Okay. I don't know. I like the way my face looks. I ain't trying to have stitches and bandages and bruises and Now Summer starts backing away. Tasiki's following Summer. The more Summer runs her mouth, and Summer is backing away and backing away and backing away. And then her confessional, Summer is like, "Get away from me. Get away from me." And I'm like, well, stop writing checks that your mouth can't cash. Like, come on now. Make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense for me. Now, Summer keeps saying, "Get this bitch out of my face. Get this bitch out of my face." Now, she's talking to production, security, get this bitch out of my face. But here's the thing. I don't blame Tasiki in this moment. I don't blame her in this moment, because every time I would hear Summer say bitch this and bitch that and bitch this, whop, whop, as she should, right? As she should. It's so disrespectful. And Tasiki, we just said this, going back to the whole her being boring thing, but Tasiki really don't bother nobody. Like, she don't bother nobody. They may call her boring. We might call her boring, but she don't bother nobody. She minds her own business. She stays back, and she just peeps everything. So it just seems very disrespectful, like the fact that Tasiki's already told you once, Summer, to leave her and Krishan's business between her and Krishan, and you continue to try to put yourself in between their business, and you continue to run your mouth talking about, get this bitch, bitch. Like, What are we not getting here? Now, let's go over to Smiley. Smiley starts claiming that she feels lightheaded, right? She says that she's feeling lightheaded and that she needs to see a medic. Um, no, she didn't say that she needs to see a medic. She said she's feeling lightheaded, and then there's a medic on set that comes over and starts checking on her, right? And they sit Smiley down on a chair, and Smiley is sitting there with the medic. They're chilling, and then all of a sudden, you see Smiley just fall back. She falls back. She falls out onto the ground. The medics jump on her. They're on top of her. Smiley, are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody's trying to um, check on Smiley. Well, just a second, y'all. I'm pulling my notes up over here. Okay. So the medic is sitting there. She's checking on Smiley. Are you okay? Are you okay? Now, here's my thing. When it comes to this whole Smiley thing, we're not going to debate over whether or not Smiley was faking or not, right? We can sit here all day long and go back and forth over whether or not Smiley was faking passing out or having the seizure or not. Screw all that. At the end of the day, she needs to go home. Smiley needs to go home for two reasons. If she's faking, okay, send her home, because ain't nobody got time for all the theatrics and playing around like that. Serious stuff like that be happening all the time, and we don't got time for you to be joking. Okay, that's number one, if she's playing. If she's not playing and it's a serious seizure or whatever, she still needs to go home, because that's a liability. Considering the environment that these women are in on a daily, filming this show where fights break out all the time, Zeus could be held accountable if something were to seriously happen to this girl. And who's to say that Smiley doesn't consider suing the Zeus network when she's down and out and needs some money? Who's to say that she doesn't try suing and saying these seizures were brought upon because of these fights that I was around? We don't know. It's a liability. There are so many other liabilities at play as well when it comes to Smiley in that whole situation. I say fuck debating over whether she faked it or not. Pack your bags and go. We're barely in episode 2 and you're already falling out. How do y'all feel about that? Now, Tommy asks, why is everybody jumping on Smiley when they know she's not a fighter? Well, I'll tell you why, Tommy, because these hoes are pussy. Straight up. And I say that as a term of endearment, okay, because I'm a hoe too, right? I call myself a hoe. They're pussy. They're pussy. It is what it is. I mean, that's all. Did y'all notice how Smiley has got Biggie thinking she actually did something? Because they end up calling the ambulance, they end up calling the ambulance, putting Smiley on a stretcher, and she ends up leaving in an ambulance. And I just felt like it boosted Biggie's ego. Biggie felt like she was responsible for that, like she actually put Smiley in the hospital, when Biggie, in all actuality, didn't really do a damn thing. She didn't do a damn thing. Security was in between them. Neither of them really landed licks on one another from what I saw. But if you were to ask Biggie, she would probably tell you that she put Smiley in the hospital, when we all know that's a big fat fucking lie. Now, Krishan was my MVP of the episode. Krishan kept clocking exactly what I was thinking, because she starts saying that all this shit is fake. She said all this shit is fake because y'all know who to touch and who not to touch. And I'm like, okay, clock it. Please, like, clickety motherfucking clock it. Finally, somebody said it. There it is. Y'all know who to touch and who not to touch up in this mother. Period. It's giving schoolhouse bullies. That's what it's giving me. And I can't believe that of all these girls in this cast, that Krishan is the only one that's making sense to me. Now, Krishan continues and says that she thinks all these little clicks and shit is fake. And that she thinks that these girls are performing. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly how I feel. All these little cliques are fake. These girls click up because they need an ally. They need somebody to have their back because they know that they can't fight all these girls. And half of them, 75% of them can't fight at all. So they need their little cliques. And they're all performing. They are all performing. Most of these girls are not street like they claim to be. Most of these girls are not hood like they try to be. They might have grown up in the hood. You might have grown up in the streets. You might have sold pussy in the streets. But that don't mean that you can thump like that. Krishan also says that they make baddies look like UFC mania. Hey, now we've been saying that. We've been saying that. I've been up here preaching to the choir, talking about what happened to storytelling. I get it. The fighting is entertaining. The fighting brings ratings. The drama sells. But I also know to make a palatable show, to make a show that's worth digesting, you need a balance. And I told y'all last week, a perfect example of that was Scotty announcing her pregnancy. Us seeing the girls at dinner or at lunch on a rooftop. All the girls, not all the girls, but like 5 or 6 girls just gossiping, their girlfriend telling them that she's pregnant, them celebrating the pregnancy. Like, we need that balance. We need that storytelling. Now, my thing is, it would be cool if we could continue to see Scotty's journey through her pregnancy, and unfortunately, we won't get to see that because Scotty's going to probably, be on the sidelines this season, as she should, because she doesn't want to get kicked in the stomach, God forbid. So she's probably going to stay in the sidelines, and that's all we'll really see of her. Zeus is not going to follow her pregnancy journey throughout this season. I highly doubt it, because they think that all y'all want to see is the fighting. Suki says, talking about all the fighting and referencing what Krishan just said, Suki says that she didn't come here for all the fighting. She says, I came here to get paid, to have fun, and to eat. Now listen, while that may sound naive to say on a show like Baddies, I'm with her on that. I don't get why everybody always has to feel inclined to fight. We are literally getting paid to travel. We are traveling the world for free, getting paid to do it. Let's turn up. Let's eat, smoke, drink, have a good time, pop bottles, twerk on each other, dance on motherfucking tabletops with no underwear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like all the fighting would be mentally draining. Now, Stinkabella has some animosity still built up for Tommy. After the reunion last season. So Stinkabella comes up behind Tommy and sneaks her and snatches her wig off. Now, I don't know. I like Tommy. I love me some Tommy. Like, Tommy does some really questionable things, but I just find her so entertaining. I don't know what it is. And I love to see what she's going to wear and how she's going to look. Now, Sapphire pulls out, y'all know how she pulls out that big pencil in the notebook. I'm gonna need you to retire that, sis. If Sapphire, this is your second season back, you got a chance to come back. If you want to stay around, I'm gonna need you to come up with new material, because you pulled this same gig on your first season in Baddies Caribbean, pulling out the big pencil and notepad or whatever. Like, you've done that. And you can tell she does that as like a shtick. Like, she does that purposely. She brings that pencil and paper purposely, thinking that y'all are going to find it funny when we've already seen it. We've already ha-ha'd at it. It's not funny anymore. Like, come on. You're not really keeping notes of what these girls are saying. Like, you're trying to be entertaining. Instead of trying to be entertaining, just be yourself. Get new material, boo. It's played out. Um Do y'all agree with Krishan when Krishan says that she asked Lex where was she when Tasiki was about to beat Summer's ass? And Big Lex said, I already told her. I don't agree with what she said. Do y'all agree with Krishan on that? Because Krishan went up to Big Lex and she was like, the reason why I feel like all this shit is fake is because any other time y'all are jumping in being Captain Save-A-Ho, trying to fight Summer's battles for her and save her. What happened when my sister was about to beat Summer's ass? Where were y'all then? And Big Lex is like, oh, well, that's because I didn't agree with her. I told Summer what she did was wrong. I'm like, no, 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 no. This is what Krishan be talking about. Y'all pick and choose. You don't want to fight Tasiki, Big Lex. Let's just keep it real. And look, Tasiki may have fought Big Lex before. She may have fought this, but it don't matter. In this moment, she don't want to fight her. They only want to take on the easy battles. They only want to take on the easy battles. This is what Krishan meant when she said, y'all pick and choose. Now, you would have thought by now Summer would have already learned. You would have thought by now, after Tasiki has like slapped Summer once or twice, that she would have learned. But she continues to run her mouth. So, and she's 2 feet away from Tasiki, just won't shut up. So what does Tasiki do? She backhands her. Whop! Right in the mouth. Bop! Bitch slaps that ass. And I think, hey, listen, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Now, all of a sudden, Dolly, Lex, where are you? Where are you, sad Dolly? Where are you, little Lex? I used to like these three. But I feel like they fell from grace. I really do. They fell from grace. I think, too, they may not be scared of the Malone sisters, but they don't want to fight the Malone sisters, okay? Let's get that very crystal clear. They don't want to fight them. And to be honest, I don't see Summer ever shutting up. I think Summer's going to have her mouth sewn shut. Literally. The only way this Summer is ever going to shut up is if her mouth was sewn shut. Now, Summer and Tasiki are having their moment, right? Why is barefoot, trashy ass Mariah Lynn coming out of nowhere talking about, come on, come on, come on? Like, who called Mariah Lynn? Girl, why is she even on this cast? I'm just confused. Here come Mariah Lynn with her T-Rex arms. Come on. Come on. She walks up and she wants to fight Summer on Tasiki's behalf. She said since Tasiki won't make the decision to jump on her ass, she will. Mariah says this. I'm just like, girl, Mariah, you look like you smell. You look like you stink. Go sit down. For real. You always, Tasiki's got this. She don't need you to fight her battles. Have several seats. Damn. I just love the BGC girls, the Bad Girls Club OGs. They're around the corner confused. They're in the doorway. They don't know what's going on. People are fighting for their lives just to fight. Fighting for camera time. You know, these girls from Bad Girls Club are like, we too old for this shit. Like I said earlier, we just here for the paycheck. Now, Rolly comes up to Tanisha. Rolly comes up to Tanisha and asks Tanisha, like, look, can you and I talk? Because apparently Tanisha and Rolly had some words online, and it all stems from Rolly versus Slim. Y'all remember when Rolly had Slim as her assistant and was embarrassing the hell out of Slim? Well, Slim was embarrassed at herself. But Rolly also slapped Slim and pulled her by the hair. Y'all remember that? Well, Tanisha took Slim's side in that situation and said that it looked like Rolly was bullying, which it did. It did look like Rolly was bullying from an angle. You know what I'm saying? I could see how it definitely looked that way. Rolly didn't like that. She said she felt like Tanisha didn't understand and get where she was coming from because Slim was talking about her child, and Rolly also goes on to say that Tanisha was her favorite baddie and how it hurt her to hear what Tanisha had to say because she grew up watching Tanisha and loved her, and she was her number one favorite bad girl on the Bad Girls Club. And Rolly apologizes to Tanisha for what she said in an interview with Jason Lee, which is big for Rolly because Rolly does not apologize to nobody unless she seriously, sincerely means it. We don't ever hear her apologize to nobody. Now Tanisha accepts the apology. She hugs Rolly and she says this is what Bad Girls Club is about, and she apologizes to Rolly as well. They hug it out, and I was so happy to see that. That was one of my favorite moments of the episode. We love to see it. Conflict and resolution. You know what I mean? I like the fact that they hugged it out. Producers probably wanted to see Tanisha and Rolly fight because they are the two bigger girls. Oh, let's watch the two big girls fight. Even though Tanisha's lost a lot of weight, she looks good. I'm glad they didn't go down that road. I'm glad they chose not to fight and they talked it out like two women. But you know what? They are older. Rolly's in her 30s. Tanisha, I think, is probably 40 now. They are a little bit more mature, I would say. Now I'm with Krishan on this because Tanisha kept saying that she didn't want to come. I didn't want to come, but I didn't want to come, but you know what I'm saying? Krishan clocks the T in the confessional and says, you needed that little check. Tell the truth. Krishan says, tell the truth. You needed that little check. And she does, because look, where you and I might go and work our jobs every day and make just, I don't know, $50,000 a year, that will sustain us through the year, right? These girls don't work normal 9 to 5s. They have to go work on a TV show to make some money. And a lot of these girls don't book TV shows. Think about it. When's the last time you've seen any of them on TV? Well, not any of them. A few of them stay booked. But when is the last time you've seen all these girls on a TV show other than Zeus? So they probably have to show up and do these shows and make $30,000 for 2 or 3 weeks because reality TV is not hiring like that, especially girls that have already been on TV. Now we see Pimp Daddy Lightbulb Head Lemon Pepper, Lemuel Plummer, the CEO of Zeus. He comes in and tells the girls that they may or may not start seeing Natalie anymore. Let me rephrase that. He said that they may or may not be seeing Natalie in a limited role in the future on the show, and that they're looking for new leaders and faces alongside Natalie. So I'm like, is Natalie stepping down? We know on last week's episode, Natalie left because she was mad that Tanisha showed up. So I'm guessing Natalie had quit in this moment of filming. So they were looking for a new bad girl or a new face of Baddies. But they also said alongside Natalie. My thing is, y'all know Natalie ain't going nowhere. She gets mad one minute, y'all, her and the network be fighting. She be back the next day. They make up the next day, they fight. They make up the next day, they fight. Natalie ain't going nowhere. But Dolly thinks that she should be one of the new leaders of the pack, and I'm just like, girl, bye, please. Sad Dolly would be at the bottom of my list to be one of the faces, one of the leaders of Baddies. No, thank you. You and that diaper butt can go right back to Memphis, cause Sad Dolly don't do it for me. Nothing I like about that girl. Nothing I like about that girl. Um. So who do y'all? Is there anybody that you can think of that could be like in a Natalie role? I only really see like Rolly or Scotty because they've been there for so long. They know how this show works. They know what it's about. They put the time in. Like Scotty may not be the biggest or best fighter, but she's been there. She's got the respect of the fans, and I only really see those two girls doing it. I don't really see anybody. I can see Tanisha coming in and doing it, even though Tanisha hasn't been there. She's still the OG bad girl from Bad Girls Club. I could see her doing it just because she has that respect from the fans already off rip. Do you know what I mean? Now, Lemmy ends up telling the girls, I need to stop calling him Lemuel and just call him what everybody calls him, Lemmy. Lemmy tells the girls that Scotty has something to tell everybody. He's going to let her take the floor. She ends up telling all the girls that she's pregnant. So hopefully all these girls can keep their hands to themselves and consider the fact that there is a pregnant woman on set and to be careful around her. To be honest, Scotty should have just took the season off, or maybe took half the season off. Like, I wouldn't even want to be involved in all this while I was pregnant. It's not good for your energy. It's not good for your mental. It's not good for the baby. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all know? Y'all know exactly what I'm saying, especially the ladies out there, especially the mothers, those that have been pregnant. You know exactly what I'm saying. It's just not a good place for her to be. And let's face it, it's not like Scotty has to be there for the money. She doesn't need the money. She's dating the man that runs the fucking network. She could just sit back at home and chill, unless she's trying to keep an eye on him. Unless she's trying to make sure that Anna Mac or Big Lex ain't laid up in the bed with her man. Yeah, I said it. Now, speaking of Big Lex says that Scotty's announcement didn't affect her at all. Because we know that Scotty and Big Lex have had issues from the moment that Big Lex came onto this show. But we now know why Big Lex and Scotty have had issues all this time, because the issues sort of came from nothing. Do y'all remember when Big Lex first came on the show, she had this beef with Scotty, but there really wasn't much substance to why they were beefing. Well, now we know that Big Lex was allegedly sleeping with the CEO of the Zeus Network as well. We've talked about it here. It's no secret. We know that the CEO of this network has dipped his fun dipstick into some of these girls' cootie cats, allegedly. From Natalie to Big Lex to Anna to Summer. We even heard the recording. We heard the audio recording phone call of Scotty and Anna talking about whether or not he gave them an STD. We've talked about it up here. We've even played it. So that's the real reason those two girls are beefing. And let's be real. That's the real reason Big Lex said that Scotty's pregnancy announcement didn't affect her. No, it affected you, all right. It pissed you off deep down because you know that she got the baby. She locked it down. 18 years. 18 years. Got one of your kids. Got you for 18 years. But in all seriousness, y'all know it would be funny, or y'all know it would be super cute. I think it would be super cute if Zeus would do like a. Y'all remember when they did like when they gave Rolly her own show? It was like a 4 episode special. I forgot what it was called. Transforming Rolly. Y'all remember that? I think they should give Scotty like a 4 episode special and call it Scotty with the baby. Just like uh, in this episode, Tinkerbella said she's no longer Scotty with the body. I think it was Sapphire that said. No, it was Tinkerbella. She said she's no longer Scotty with the body. She's Scotty with the baby. And when she said that, I said, "Oh, that would be a good name for a baby special. 4 part special, call it Scotty with the baby, and let's follow Scotty through her pregnancy, her life into motherhood, the baby shower, her giving birth, seeing her at home, meeting her other family. You know, we can meet her mom and her siblings and her dad, see her at home with them, see her and Lemmy together. I think it would be something different for the network, and I think it would be actually a good idea. I think a lot of people would tune in for it. What do y'all think? Would y'all watch Scotty with the baby special? Now, after Scotty does her announcement and all that happens, we see a message pop up on the screen that says, upon exiting her we see a message pop up on the screen that says, upon exiting her hotel the next day, Tasiki realizes that Krishan has invited her friend Marsh on the road. Tasiki and Marsh have had previous altercations, if you remember. Y'all remember from Baddies West? I think it was Baddies West. When Tasiki had Marsh looking like a marsh in the face, like her face was marshed up. I mean, y'all remember that episode? Was it Baddies West? Her face looked like marsh. Tasiki fucked her face up. Okay, that was the last we really heard of Krishan, Marsh, Tasiki, that whole situation. Anyway, all of a sudden we see Tasiki and Krishan. They're outside in DC somewhere in the city, and you see Tasiki just going crazy, screaming at Krishan, rah! And there are a bunch of Zeus Network employees in between them. There's security. There's just a bunch of people in the street. There's a lot of attention, a lot of chaos. I'm so shocked we never see the police show up to Zeus Network sets. I don't know how they get away with fighting in restaurants, fighting at hotels, fighting in the street, and police never show up. Maybe they do and we just don't see it. But my thing is, why is Marsh even there? Okay, just a couple things here. Why is Marsh there? We have enough drama on this show. We don't need no extra added drama. So Marsh is not needed. Okay, I could see if all the girls were boring, nothing was happening. Okay, bring in Marsh, right? But we don't need that. We don't need entourages. Like, the girls should not have an entourage with them. Like, oh, but I need my hair and makeup. No, we will provide hair and makeup for you. Like, it's just, I feel like all these extra people around do nothing but create problems. And my thing is, the girls should come alone. This is a job. This is a job. I don't get to show up to my job. You don't get to show up to your job with an entourage. Like, this show should still be treated like a job. They're getting a paycheck. Stop showing up with +1s, +2s, +3s. So, you know, there's a few different things going on here that make you go. Now, Marsh is saying, we see Marsh and Krishan standing by a car, and Marsh is saying that she don't care. She will fight any bitch. And I'm like, girl, do you not remember you got your face bashed in? Do you not remember that? Like, what happened last time? Now, apparently somebody told Tasiki that Marsh was talking shit about her. Or that Marsh and Krishan were talking shit. Somebody was talking shit, and somebody went back and told Tasiki that. I'm just like, where is the couth? Because my thing is, Tasiki needs to calm down, first of all. She's in the streets going buck wild, crazy, screaming, drawing all this fucking attention. Marsh shouldn't be there, like I said, to begin with. Now, but I want y'all to catch something. Did y'all catch what Krishan said? Very interesting. Pay attention to this because Krishan says that Tasiki crashes out because people call her boring and she believes what the comments say. Now, I 1,000,000% believe that. I 1,000,000% believe that, okay? And here's the thing, like I said earlier, Latifah, baby, you don't have to fight to be entertaining. Just because we call you boring does not mean that you should go out there and just go batshit crazy. No. Personality. Are you a confessional queen? Do you make us laugh in confessionals? Do you have funny one-liners? Are you a fashion girl? When you come in the room, when you walk into a room, do you own it? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense when I say that's what brings an entertaining reality star? I think Latifah Tasiki thinks that we want to see her just fight. But that's only 20% of it. The other 80% is your personality and what you bring and how funny you are and how likable you are. At least it is for me. And like I said earlier, everybody isn't meant to have a big personality, and that's okay. Krishan says, so you want to play with me because they call you boring? Oh. Now a lot of the girls get on a Sprinter van and they head to the DC house because we're in episode 2 going into episode 3 and we've yet to see the house. They haven't even got to the house yet. Now Tasiki, Anna, Mariah, and Biggie, they're in a separate car. They're in a separate vehicle. And Tasiki says that Sapphire told Krishan that she shouldn't be beefing with her sister. Sapphire's like, Krishan, don't be beefing with your sister that's here. And Krishan apparently said, that's my blood. Marsh is my sister. Now, is this the comment that set Tasiki off? That's what I want to know. Because Krishan claims that somebody went back and told Tasiki something that was untrue. Is this the comment that they are referring to? And why does Krishan feel that way? That's the bigger question, Tasiki. Because we all know the accusations that Krishan made a few seasons ago, right? And then the girls stopped talking. But now it's like nothing happened. And I guess, according to Tasiki, they talked everything out. But obviously, everything's not so cookie cutter if Krishan feels that way. If that's the truth, it could be a lie. I don't know if Krishan really said that. We'll have to watch next week to see how that plays out. Now, we also found out in this episode that Natalie paid for Tinkabella's baby shower. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? Scotty says that Natalie won't be paying for hers, though. Now, in true Anna Whack fashion, Anna has so much to say behind Krishan's back. And I just wonder, Anna, why you didn't say this to her face. Because Anna says, why do you keep bringing your trashy ass friend Marsh on the show? She's not getting on the show. I swear to God, y'all gonna hate me, bro. Why don't you say that to Krishan, Anna Whack? But you're not. You're not gonna say that to Krishan because you know that she would dislocate that jaw of yours. This is what she meant when she said y'all are picky and choosy. I just want, you know what I'm saying? Like, say it to her face, big jaw. Big face. Say it. Scotty won, Anna, not you. Okay? You aren't chosen. You're not calling the shots. So guess what? If Marsh does want to be on the show, it's not going to be up to you. Talking about, I swear to God, you're not going to be on the show. Y'all gonna hate me after this. Like, girl, ain't nobody scared. Be quiet. Um, Now Anna says when it comes down to fighting, she's gonna tell everybody that they have to take on all of them, meaning her, Mariah, and Biggie. Did y'all catch that? At the end, Anna was like, "Yeah, whenever I have to fight so and so, I'm gonna tell them you got to go through all of us." But then she makes it a point to not include Tasiki. She knows not to include Tasiki in that because Tasiki would tell him straight up, "I'm not fighting y'all's battles like that." However, Anna, Biggie, and Mariah, they have to fight for one another, right? That's why you didn't see Mariah back down from that. Whenever Anna said, "Whenever we have to fight, I'm going to tell him you have to go through all of us," you didn't see Biggie deny that. You didn't see Mariah back down from that statement at all. All those girls sat there in silence because they know they all have to fight for each other. They all need each other in the end. They're the weakest links, really. Now, I don't know where Stinkabella and Sad Dolly's fight stems from, or their beef. I don't know where their beef stems from. But I think last season, Baddies Africa, I think that's where it stems from. Anyway, Tinkabella and Sad Dolly, they were on the sprinter. And all I know is the next thing is Dolly starts beating the hell out of Tinkabella. Okay? All in her face. Did y'all see that last scene on that sprinter van? Tinkabella wasn't expecting it because I think if Tinkabella had been more prepared for that, I don't think Dolly would have gotten her that bad. But Tinkabella got Dolly. Or Dolly got Tink. Dolly got Tinkabella. I mean, she charged up on her and straight face shots. Straight face shots. Tinkabella falls backwards onto the sprinter van. And then we have to wait until next week to see how that plays out. Now, next week, it looks like Natalie wasn't gone too long. We see her show back up to welcome the girls to the DC house. She must have went to her hotel and cried about it and realized that she needed the show more than the show needed her and got her ass back into shape. We see you, Miss Nunn. We also see next week the cracks in the foundation of Big Lex and Summer's friendship starts to form. When y'all notice how Big Lex told Summer to shut the fuck up. Yeah, we see that. And also next week, Rolly and Summer damn near get to scrapping. That's going to be a hell of a fight. And we also see Tasiki starts to ugly cry in front of Krishan. Tasiki is talking to Krishan, and all of a sudden she starts doing this ugly cry and like falls into Krishan's, but it doesn't look like Krishan's really buying it. Krishan's kind of like, yeah, save the dramatics, save the theater. Because here's the thing. I remember watching Tasiki on Blueface and Krishan's show before Tasiki ever got on Baddies, and she was doing a lot of theatrics on that show. You could tell she was acting on that show too. And that kind of seems like what she's doing next week's episode. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about everything I had to say. Give me your thoughts and opinions on episode 2. Click the subscribe button and like this video. And while you're down there by the like button, look for the hype button and hype this video up, okay? That helps me and smaller creators become more discovered throughout the YouTube community. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching me, for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I need to do a live soon. I miss doing the after shows live with you guys, but hopefully we can get back into that at some point. I appreciate you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark.